gives you money without applying for it. Yeah, stockholders tend to get a little bit happy about that, and so does the market.
Right, and this big thing comes out with these allegations against Perry less than 24 hours after the state comptroller Susan Combs had did a study, an economic study, on the subsidies given to alternative energy companies, and she found that the wind farms are a giant suckhole. They're sucking in all kinds of government subsidies, both national and state level, and not really paying off on it. And they're costing the average Texan $1,000 a year to pay for electricity they're never going to see. And she's calling for ending the subsidies on the state level because these subsidies are not going to create jobs and create capital at all. All they're doing is paying off companies who are setting up windmills that are sitting there and doing nothing, especially during the hours that they're needed most, because the winds don't blow during the hours that Texans need the most energy. So it's just weird how that comes out, and now they're going to start going after Perry for investing in companies that are actually producing and creating jobs.
Yeah, it's insane. Well, it's Texas politics. It's a blood sport, and the Democrats are a bit more crazy down there than they are in a lot of other places.
Yes, they are. In fact, my congressman calls himself a blue dog Democrat, and I roll my eyes because in other places I lived, he wouldn't even be able to hint at being blue dog. He'd be flat out called a diehard progressive, and that's Hank Cuellar from San Antonio in South Texas. But he calls himself a blue dog. Well, compared to a lot of other Texas Democrats, he is kind of right-leaning, which is ironic, given how right-leaning Texas is.
Yeah, well, you have to do everything bigger there, which includes, the swinging one way or the other.
Exactly.
And that explains the existence of Wendy Davis.
Oh, Lord. I don't even want to get started on her. Not quite yet. Give me about another 2-3 weeks, and I will gladly do an entire week dedicated to Wendy Davis. Good old pink shoes abortion Barbie. Uh-oh, I'm going to get phone calls on that one. I hope the NSA is listening to this. Not a big fan of Wendy Davis. I'm not a big fan of her running mate either, Letitia Vandepute. Miss, I support veterans, but only want to pass bills that are going to enslave veterans to the state of Texas. No, thank you. Don't like her either.
Oh, it's... my co-host gets very upset about this. My co-host.
Yeah.
It's from FTR, Taylor.
I always want to call him Tyler, but it's Taylor,
we all joke about it. He's terrible. Yeah, his name's Taylor, and we always joke he's terrified of pink sneakers. Except for mine. Yeah.
Luckily, she doesn't come to my neck of the woods very often. Of course, her running mate lives here, so she doesn't have to.
Right.
But I live in Castroville. Well, I have to watch myself. There actually is a town called Castroville, Texas, which I found out the hard way. But I live in the city that was formerly governed by the tyrant known as Julian Castro. I just like calling him Julie. I can't stand him.
Well, that's one of the rising stars in the Democrat Party. Don't they have designs on moving him up in the world?
They do. That's why they chose somebody who's been investigated twice and somehow made a potential indictment vanish for HUD corruption within the city disappear, and then nominated him to be the head of the HUD for the U.S. This guy is crooked from the ground up. He misappropriated and stole funds that was meant to improve the 911 system here. The average wait time for a 911 call in San Antonio is 10 minutes. The federal standard is 6. There have been cases of people stuck waiting to talk to a 911 operator on hold for over 15 minutes.
Oh, my.
Yeah, that's just one of the many scandals, local scandals that Julian was involved in, including a revolving fund of $500,000 a year that was used to pay the city's phone bills and internet bills, which didn't cost anywhere near that amount. And where was the money going? They found out it was being given off to no-bid contracts, but no investigations done because of good old Julie being the shining rising star. So all put under the carpet. Again, it's something I can go on and on and on for multiple shows about. I've been on several shows talking with some of the local personalities like Doc Green on Raging Elephants Radio and Heidi Theis about this whole thing. So it's good old Julie is corrupt. He's a rising star, and again, he's a good friend of Obama and Eric Holder, who, for our listeners just joining us, we're talking about Holder's greatest hits. And I have
everything
Liz
else.
Harrison. Yeah, and everything else that goes along with it, because as you can see, the tentacles just dive deep into everything. This guy had his fingers involved in everything. Local Texas politics, the whole Fast and Furious scandal, the refusal to investigate Benghazi, all sorts of things. And it's the depths of the corruption, where does it end, involved with Eric Holder. And then we're talking about the scary concept of him being nominated as a Supreme Court justice to replace Ginsberg if she decides to retire. She's 81. She's already looking at it. So
cross our fingers that she doesn't do it.
We're hoping.
And honestly, there is a distinct possibility, because while she doesn't want to, I understand she doesn't want to be replaced by a conservative. She would prefer a liberal. But I really do wonder if there are enough rumblings about the possibility of nominating Holder, if she will do everything in her power to avoid it. Because liberal, conservative, whatever, no matter what, Ginsberg is still a law and order justice. She respects the law. She takes her job seriously, and I don't agree with her all the time, but I can understand where she's coming from. And I think that she would prefer to not be replaced by someone like Holder, who has absolutely zero respect for the law. You know what I mean?
I know exactly what you mean. And, well, Liz, it's been great having you on here. Unfortunately, this is only an hour-long show, and I got about 10 minutes left to do some wrap-ups. So, real quick, can you tell the listeners where to find you? And it's been great talking to you, by the way.
Oh, yeah, you can find me at Goldwater on the Twitter, and I'm on the air Monday through Friday, 7 p.m. Eastern on Truth Be Told Media, the Liz Harrison Show.
And I've been doing my best to catch that. Do you post the podcast for that show anywhere where we can get it?
Yeah, honestly, well, I don't post it. The radio station does. You go to truthbetoldmedia.com, and they have a nifty little pull down there. For the show hosts, you click on the Liz Harrison Show, and they're sometimes slow posting them, but they'll put the back shows up there in a list there. So they have to edit out quite a bit whenever they put them up, news and whatnot.
Exactly. And then the podcast for this show gets posted over at Live 365 at the Mental Keto and Matuszak channel. Of course, it goes over live on Heartland Radio, also on Live 365. And then, of course, I also break it up and put it up on YouTube, so it's available several places. So you can let all your fellow listeners know that you guessed it on my show if they want to hear another dose of you. And
okay.
hold on. on just a second here, I do have another kind of story that I want to segue into here for my last couple of minutes and see what people might think about this. But I was wondering what your take of it was. Did you read or see the video that was posted with the NRA's Trigger the Vote ad with the father and son?
Yes. I saw that they had it out there. I didn't actually get a chance to see the ad itself.
Yeah, it's an interesting ad. It's got kind of a... Well, given that it's Trigger the Vote, it's not so surprise ending. But there's another one that they actually did before that many people may not have seen, and it stars Chuck Norris. So I was going to play the audio from that and kind of see what you thought about that.
Okay.
Here you go.
Top 10 reasons to register to vote with Chuck Norris. Number 10.
You can always ignore my advice. The dinosaurs did.
Number 9.
Because I'll know if you don't.
Number 8.
You have time right now. I know, because I'm standing right behind you.
Number 7.
It's taken me a lifetime to earn your respect. You can earn mine by registering to vote.
Number 6.
Because I said so.
Number 5.
Anyone can throw a punch. It takes a real man or woman to punch a voter registration card.
Number 4.
Because the other guys don't want you to. Well, I know who they are.
Number 3.
There's only one thing stronger than these. Your vote.
Number 2.
I get asked for my autograph all the time. Now your country is asking for yours.
Number 1.
With one hand, I can crush coal into a diamond. With yours, you can protect your rights.
Number 11.
And for those who couldn't see the little text that came out the bottom, Chuck Norris's number 11 on top 10 reasons to register to vote is because Chuck Norris can have as many reasons as he wants. Liz, you didn't get to hear the audio, did you? I don't think it went over onto the Skype, did it? Liz, did we lose you?
Yeah, no. Basically, yeah, I didn't hear it, but the NRA goes and has information on it, and of course HuffPost was complaining about it. And, you know, this is typical. But Chuck Norris, you know, he's like the next generation Charlton Heston. Cold Dead
Actually,
Man.
I think he's Charlton Heston's age almost. So.
Well, you know what I mean.
The video he's looking rough. Yeah, I know what you mean. But, you know, these hands can punch through concrete.
Yeah, basically.
But your hands can punch a voter card.
Right. But I honestly, I was enjoying the ones that have actually gone out on air, that have regular people that are talking about real issues that they face on a daily basis, and I honestly think that might actually get more people thinking twice about the NRA, especially when you go and have them coming across as not the, you know, Tea Party wackadoodles that the press always goes and gets whenever they go to Tea Party things, because I always joke about this. I say the photographers always look for the ladies who are trying to make the Red Hat Society look normal.
Exactly.
You know, goofy hats and flag clothing and all of this stuff. They don't look at the normal people there. They go and pick the people who decided to dress up like they went to a party store before that. But, yeah, they're getting normal people that have real issues and are sitting there saying, how do I protect my family in a rough neighborhood, that sort of thing. And they talk about freedom of speech and everything else, too. And
exactly.
They bring it up in a way that I think should resonate with a lot of people. So, you know, Chuck Norris is great. I think they should keep up with the normal, everyday people that are bringing up real issues and making people think.
Right, and that's why I love the father and son video which is, again, posted over at BuzzPo, along with a commentary there. But it goes through and it shows a father going into his closet, pulling out a little lockbox that looks like it would hold a pistol. And they're having a conversation that sounds, like a kid being curious about Dad's firearm, asking why, why do you have it? Well, I have it because it's my right to. Does everybody have one? No, but everybody should. Why do you have it? So I can protect my family and our rights and our freedoms. All those typical things that you hear pro-Second Amendment advocates talk about. And the guy unlocks this lockbox, and as he's unlocking it, the kid says, "Dad, when can I get one?" And he says, "When you're old enough, I will take you and help you get one." And he opens the box, and it's a voter registration card, and the kid says, "Dad, I'm proud of you." And I just think it's so awesome because it just shows how people misconceive everything and exactly what voter rights are really about and what your vote really means. And that's the beauty of that particular ad, just like the other ones you talked about.
Oh, yeah, and it's like what Scotland, they were talking about voter turnouts in like the 80th percentiles. We never see that. And we're talking about individuals that were, eligible to vote there. We can't even get over 15% of our population in some areas to even register to vote, let alone get them to the polls.
Right, and then to top it off, you have to worry about people registered to vote who aren't even breathing. So
Right. Yeah, it's unfortunate, and I'm still a relative proponent for poll testing because I'm tired of low information voters. If you don't know what you're casting the ballot for, you really shouldn't be casting a ballot.
I think everybody to graduate high school needs to pass a citizenship test, but hey, that's just me.
Yeah, not just 6 or 10 questions of it. Try the whole thing.
Exactly. But like I said, the show's winding down. It's only an hour-long show. I want to thank Liz Ross Harrison. Used to go with the hyphenated last name.
Yeah, I used to. The Liz Harrison works now.
I want to thank Liz Harrison, otherwise known as Goldwater Gal, for joining me this morning to talk about Eric Holder and all things that kind of linked into his tenure as Attorney General. And we'll be right back here next week on Monday from 8 to 9 a.m. on the Mouth of Matuszak show, and that's 8 to 9 Central, so that's 9 to 10 Eastern. Adjust your clocks accordingly, and y'all have a great weekend. And Liz, thanks for joining us. Real quick, tell everybody again one more time where to find you.
Just at Goldwater Gal and over on Truth Be Told Media daily, and you can find me there at 7 p.m. Eastern.
Awesome. Well, we'll be right back here next week, and thanks for joining us, Liz, and thanks for joining us to all of our listeners out there. You all have a great weekend. Bye-bye.